commercial property, it's important to look at a number of factors. The first one is location. There is a saying in real estate, location, location, location. Unlike most other people, I don't believe it's always the case. There are situations where location may appear to be perfect, but isn't. And locations change. Good locations may deteriorate. Bad locations tend to improve, depending on what happens. Let's discuss this right now. First one would be accessibility and transportation. How close is it to major highways, major transport links? You may have a warehouse which transports things from the country. The city needs good access. Public transport options. Maybe a situation where there's a congested area where there's lack of parking, employees, for example, the CBD areas. Are there good transport options? Or major suburbs, that sort of thing. If you tend to find something which is hard for employees to get to, the employer will be reluctant to lease it out. They need employees to work there. It's hard enough to get good employees as it is. When it becomes difficult, when we get to their place of work, may have trouble attracting the right people. Parking availability and regulations. Again, for your staff, your customers, regulations. Is it half-hour parking, 1 hour parkings? Is it a clear way in the afternoon and in the morning, peak hour traffic? So it may disrupt if you've got a retail outlet. They may not be able to get customers to park at the front and walk in and buy something or do their business, whatever it may be, service or goods. So they're an important issue to look at. Walkability. Some people like to walk to work, ride the bike to work. How good's the bike access? Especially if you've got younger staff there, younger people working for the particular people. Proximity to airports and seaports. Again, for transportation situations, maybe for hotel type of properties where you're doing with tourists, people in transit, major transportation companies where they have to import-export items, people have regular meetings overseas or whatever reason. Airports and seaports become important. Next thing you look at, demographics and market analysis. What's the population density in the area? What are the growth trends? Is it becoming more denser? So getting more customers coming in? Is it getting people leaving the place? What are the income levels and spending patterns? What type of business is there in that property that you're buying or leasing or encourage people to lease? Age distribution and lifestyle factors. So again, it depends on what sort of market you're after. For example, if that particular market is a building is attracting younger people, for example, a childcare centre. Now, you may look at buying a childcare centre, which is becoming an ageing population in the area. People are getting older, they're not moving out, young people aren't moving in. So children need childcare centres. They're not coming into the area. Maybe it's not a very good investment. Maybe the restaurant, maybe family type restaurants or family type businesses, a child fun park, playground business. What are the local employment rates and the major employers in the area? Are there big employers who continuously hire good quality people? High unemployment. Obviously, the spending power is not very good. People are employed, legal employment in the area. It'll encourage more sales and more business for the particular property. Are there educational and other institutions around? For example, close to universities, close to schools, close to hospitals, or those sort of things. They have younger type of people who like to move into the area and who have different type of spending power to more of an aging population situation with the retirees. So take those into account. Local economic factors. Is improving or declining? Major industries and business clusters. Are these certain type of businesses increasing in the area or are they decreasing? What's happening? What are the job market trends? Is it becoming more white collar or trades type of business? White collar generally tend to be slightly older than the trades people, who are younger, the plumbers, the electricians, that sort of thing? Are there employment increasing, becoming businesses which need high level of employees? Are there certain government incentives or development plans in the area, things to be changed, which would encourage a certain type of person there and also cause the population to increase or decrease? The competition landscape, nearby businesses, and potential synergies. For example, you may have theatres work with restaurants, doctors, specialist officers with hospitals. You may have schools and preschools. You may have other industries which may attract people who go to university level, in the university nearby. Who are the competitors in the area? Sometimes competition is good, but if you have the same type of industry, it could be as good as well. People get worried about competition. If there's a certain type of business selling motorbikes, maybe there's no room for another motorbike business, or a restaurant, a certain type of restaurant, another Italian restaurant. But sometimes that's why a lot of car yards are in clusters. So you can buy a Toyota or Ford or Mazda, whatever you want. There's competition? Yeah, of course there is. But it encourages everyone to go in that area. So everyone benefits from being in that cluster. Market saturation analysis. Is there too many of these sort of businesses in the area? Maybe you may have 5 Italian restaurants, or 5 hamburger chains, or 5 certain type of department stores or clothing stores. There's too many. Look around. How are they doing? Are they getting more people in? Does it look like they're doing quite well? Is there potential for future development or gentrification? Can you improve the building? Can it be gentrified to attract a high quality tenant and better paying tenant too? How can it possibly do it? Has the property got potential for it? Zoning, regulatory environment. Current zoning regulations and restrictions. Potential for rezoning or variances. Changes of building codes and compliance requirements. Environmental regulations and concerns. What are the restrictions there? Are you maybe allowed to build at a certain level, which is maybe not a good thing? It may be good, but generally potential to increase the building size and get more income is limited. Or on the other hand, if there's a zoning taking place at the moment to increase the floor space ratio or the height limit for your property, there's potential for building more, getting more for it, getting more tenants, increasing your income. Is there a zoning? Maybe it was restricted in what it maybe was a special type of business initially. Now decided to change it to more larger type of business zoning, which means that different types of businesses can move in the area. These are very important. Look at these things. Infrastructure and utilities. Quality and capacity of utilities. Water, electricity, gas, internet. So, for example, you may have industrial property. Has it got the capacity for enough electricity? They use 3-phase power. You may have a lot of machinery. If you have limited power into the property, you may have problems getting the right type of tenant. It would cost them too much money to upgrade, to lease it for. Maybe the gas. Is it good internet access? Water supplies. How good's the water supply? Is there plenty of water supply? I mean, have you got a situation where there's a lot of water available in the area? Some places have got restrictions. You may be a town which has droughts. Take these factors into account. Future infrastructure projects or improvements. Is there something going on in the area? For example, a new road in the area. Bypass may be detrimental, or it may help you. Are there new hospitals being built? New schools, universities, other infrastructure projects going on which can improve or can be a detriment to your business or property? These are very important. Sustainability and green building opportunities. Now, it's good now to be green, save the environment, reduced energy costs, that sort of thing. It saves you money, plus becomes attractive to people looking at saving the environment and doing the right thing by the climate. Crime and safety. Important. You hear all the time there's certain places where there's increasing crime. There's some of the country areas. Look at the crime statistics and trends. Sometimes the place looks great during the daytime. At night could be problems, a lot of drunken people and drugs and that sort of stuff. Maybe there's an increase of assaults in the area. Maybe there's a lot of robberies. People want to feel safe. How close is a police and fire department to the place? What are the response? It's important to know, because if something goes wrong, you want to know you can get help pretty quickly. If you're too far away, something happens, you're in trouble. Natural disaster risk and mitigation measures. Is your property right on the water and it's low-lying and possibly a situation where it may change? A storm comes up, or it may be in a low-lying area for flooding, for rivers and that sort of thing. How well is a property built to withstand those situations? Is it worth taking the risk, despite being a lot cheaper than something comparable? Should you risk it? Visibility and exposure. The traffic counts and patterns. Are there certain times of day where things improve? Is a situation where maybe it's only busy during holiday time or a certain time of the day? Is the traffic count getting better or worse? Is there diversion around there which is stopping all traffic going through the particular property? It affects the customers, which affects the ability to pay rent. Signage opportunity and restrictions. You want to advertise your company. Clients want to advertise their business. Possibility there. Are there restrictions on how they can advertise? Some situation where anything beyond 1 centimetre of the wall needs approval. It's regarded as a special sign. Maybe, I've done in the past, it's on a corner site and on a busy road. You may be allowed to put a sign up there. Extra income from your airspace. I did it myself at one situation and one property that I was managing. We actually built a room because the restriction was that it couldn't be completely on the airspace, had to be on the building itself. So built a room and had the sign put on there. And this is talking about 20 years ago. We started off about $100,000 a year. A lot of money in those days, probably equivalent to about $400,000 a year now. Basically, what costs us to build an extra room on the property. What opportunity have you got for it? It is hard to get approval, but it's possible. So again, if it's on a good site, there's a good signage opportunity because you've got heavy traffic, exposure, so your clients get good exposure. And you can probably charge a higher rental. Very few property owners take this into account. It's free income in a lot of cases. What is the future growth potential? Are there any upcoming development projects in the area? For example, are there developments of a new shopping centre, a new school, university, something which will affect the type of tenant you're looking for or the type of tenant you've got already, or improve the situation? Pressure on it cause a shortage of rental properties available and give you opportunity to charge more. Maybe. You don't know. Check these out. Are there long-term city or regional plans? Go to your state government office, council area. What's the thoughts about the area? How's the area going to change? Is it becoming more educational type of area? Is it become more industrial building? Is it becoming more retail, more environment, or more tourism type of situation? What are the plans? They usually have every 5-10 years. The council develops a new plan, which they submit to the state government. The state government's got overall plans the whole next 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years. How does your property fit into that? What's potential for you to gain from that? Property-specific considerations, building condition and age. Is the layout easier to do things with, to refurbish, to extend, to convert, to redevelop? What is it like, the layout like? Is it conducive to these sort of things? Check them out. Get someone to look at those things for you. Building condition and age. That's very important. New building, obviously, nothing much to spend. Maintaining it, better type of tenant. On the other hand, if the building quality is not A standard or B standard or whatever it may be, you may have trouble getting top rental. Maybe it's a situation where you can improve it fairly easily. Maybe you can't, so it's not very good for you. All these things are important. Expansion and redevelopment potential. As before, can you expand it Are you below the floor space ratio, which means that is a building limit reached yet? Or is it room to increase it? Maybe it was recently changed. Can you easily develop it? Is it beyond repair? Is it ready for the bulldozer? Take into account. It could be very costly. What seemed like a bargain when you purchased it doesn't seem like a bargain anymore. Factor those things in. Tools and resources for local analysis. Obviously, all these tools work with artificial intelligence technology like ChatGPT and Gemini, all those sort of things. Mapping software. Government and private sector data sources. Most government bodies have got statistics online. Check them out. What data is available? Income levels, population growth, decline, tourism numbers. How is it local area changing? Also need site selection consult. Is the condition of the property in a situation where you can improve on it? Get people to look at these things. You've got ideas, but you may not be able to do them. Get some people in to help you, give you ideas of what can and can't be done. I mean, as a general idea too, they might say you can build out a story there, or you can expand by 20% or 30% sort of thing. Do that. Take that into account. There may be restrictions of what you can do. So do your homework. Get the right people there. The thing is picking the right location. Now, sometimes you're lucky. You've got to do your homework. Now, with artificial intelligence techniques, it's never been easier to do these selections. Trends in the area, how things are growing or declining, what sort of businesses are growing, which ones are shrinking, age groups, demographics, all that sort of stuff. Sometimes properties decline in usage. I have situations where properties which have changed from medium high density to low density. Some properties have restrictions to them, as in, so you're limited to what type of retail outlet you'll have there. Back to local type of industry, which is your local hairdresser and real estate agent and doctor. So you couldn't have someone who brings people in from outside, like maybe a party stall, or maybe a service station, or something like that, which gets people from around the particular city. So these should be taken into account. I have had people who purchased property in locations which changed usage. So it's poor location decisions. They didn't do their homework. So do your homework. See what's going on. How things are changing. Are they improving? Are they declining? These should all be taken into account when selecting commercial property and do an analysis. Like this video or like more videos like this, please like this and follow me. I'd like to hear comments. What are you doing with your property? How do you select your properties? I'd like to hear comments. Tastzidis from Tastzidis Properties.